should show. There we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. This is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, and I have a special guest with me today.
Hello there. This is Ishiro Finney, author of Casefile Arkham.
Yeah, so he's here to join me. He's going to talk about his books. And who knows? We're just going to have some fun, right?
Exactly.
That's the Halloween season. Yeah, it's the Halloween season, so it's the best time for this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, actually, there are quite a few other projects going up right now that are also in that theme. So, yeah, it's very cool.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us so far. DC Fans United, tell them 29, Into the Skies, Eric Breen, much appreciated. And whoever else just hasn't popped in the chat and said hello that's watching, welcome for joining us. Supposedly Nerd Wonder is going to be popping in and joining us too, because, well, you know, you can't do a live stream without Nerd Wonder, right?
Yeah, where is she, huh?
Women, they're always late. Dun, dun, dun. There's the sexist comment that we shall get.
We can tell her that when she gets here.
Oh, I will. Absolutely. I wouldn't say anything behind somebody's back. I'm not going to say to their face. Marsupial Gamers here as well. So thank you for joining us. So anyway, Halloween season. I have to ask, is Halloween your favorite season?
Actually, the whole holiday season is my favorite, although Halloween's the most fun, but the whole holiday is good because those are like the 3 months and then, of course, January. So the 4 months out of the year where there's no point in, after October, you can't market anything. I mean, crowdfunding is pointless until about, February, March. Mm-hmm. And as far as, books like I do, unless you've got a real hardcore horror fan in your family, most people that buy my stuff, it isn't a gift, it's for themselves. So this is like after Halloween, it's kind of a slow period for me. I can actually take a rest, breathe, think a bit. I can write. I don't have to worry about marketing or any of that other stuff. So, yeah.
Now, dare I ask, do you have any idea how many books you've written?
How many I've written? Sure. Well, I've done Casefile Arkham 1 and 2. I've done World War Kaiju, Titanium Rain, and Utopiates. So that's 5 graphic novels, and then I've had a number of things published in prose form as short stories.
Excellent. If anybody's interested in any of these things, I do have the links down below in the info bar, and I'll eventually be spamming them in the comments section too, because I am not afraid to shill.
Actually, if anyone's interested in getting my whole collection of books, the Josh Finney Library or J. Ishiro Library, it is a perk on the Indiegogo campaign right now. And if you order it, you get a bunch of other stuff with it as well.
Excellent. I was not aware of that. That's really cool. So, long time back, I say long time back because it feels like that now. I guess it was probably maybe 2 years ago or so. I'm only guessing here. I can't tell you for sure. I'd have to look.
2 years ago. Yeah, it was the first book.
Okay. Yeah, I read Casefile Arkham, and I greatly enjoyed it. I'm going to pull up a site right now. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it into the comment section so anybody can hop and look at that site that I'm looking at. Here
the Indiegogo?
Well, first I'm gonna pull up the website, the Casefile Arkham website. We'll mention the Indiegogo a little bit later. I think that might be a good idea, of course, to talk about that and what you can get for there. But I popped up your website, the Casefile Arkham one.
Cool.
It's a pretty cool website, I gotta say. I mean, I'm a pretty simplistic guy when it comes to that stuff. But it's saying coming soon. Her blood runs cold, so that's already out.
Oh well, that needs to be updated.
Sorry, whoopsie.
Oh yeah. That you know what? Yeah, that now should see on Indiegogo.
Yeah, but there's a lot of links there for things you guys can check out there. I'm gonna pull up the Indiegogo then and put that in the comment section right now too, so people can check that out right away.
I'm pretty proud of the preview movie for that. So I feel right now the preview movie that I made on Indiegogo is kind of the best representation of the book, or the 2 books together. So even if you don't buy it, watch the movie. I worked real hard on it.
I have watched it, just for the record. Oh, so well, yeah. So let's come on, nerd. I'm waiting for Nerd Wonder to pop, and I'm going to check on her again and say, "Hey, what's going on, nerd?" You know what? I wonder if she lost track of time. So she asked what time it was. I told her.
Well, if you want to go chase her down on Twitter, I can answer a question by David. I'm not asking. I'm not even going to try. Dave.
So your bad name's too. All right, why don't you go ahead and answer that question? I'm going to be bugging Nerd Wonder and see if I can get her on here. I think she might have lost track of time.
So yeah, Dave, World War Kaiju was the book that I did right before the first Casefile Arkham. It's the first project I did with Patrick McAvoy as the artist. And it is a unique experience. It's one that is just now finding its audience because it was kind of a strange bird in itself. The premise is that in the 1940s, when the bomb was detonated at Trinity, it wasn't an atom bomb test. In this universe, when you split the atom, if you split the atoms of a rare element called a Kai crystal, it hatches a kaiju. And so this is a world where there are no atomic bombs. It is a world of monsters instead. And instead of a missile race in the arms race, it was a monster race. And so it's about the Cold War, where the communist bloc and the West are essentially waging monster warfare against each other. And it's an alt history. It takes a lot of real events and reinterprets them with, well, what if instead of missiles we had monsters? It's definitely got a humorous edge to it, but it's also a serious kaiju story at the same time. If you love any of those old Japanese monster films, or if you like alt history, it's a book for you.
All right. So you see there's a lot of good info right there. Hold on here. I'm still pulling up something because evidently I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay.
The odd thing is when it first came out, a lot of people expected it just to be monsters hitting each other. That's what everyone expected, because there were other books at the time coming out that essentially were just, kind of the wrestling match aspect of kaiju. And don't get me wrong, there are some pretty damn epic kaiju battles in the book. But then there's also this kind of, espionage plot where you've got this journalist who's kind of talking to this old retired CIA agent who's doing kind of a tell-all of what really happened behind the scenes in history and all these monster battles that went down that were hidden from the public. And so there's also kind of almost an X-Files element to it. And a lot of people weren't expecting political and espionage intrigue. And so in that regard, the hardcore kaiju fan was a little baffled. And then the alt history fans at the time were a little baffled. But I don't know, with Comicsgate, it's finding its audience. And if the audience keeps growing, it means I can finally continue the series, which I'm thrilled about.
And speaking about the audience growing, we do have Nerd Wonder here now. Hello, Nerd.
Hey, sorry about that. I didn't mean to be late.
All is good. Hey Nerd, if I put you up
we were talking about it's a woman thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We were talking behind your back that, women late, that kind of stuff.
Oh, no.
All in good taste. Hey, Nerd, if I put you're sharing your screen, would you mind pulling up the Indiegogo page for this?
Absolutely. Let me go and grab that right now. The Indiegogo specifically, not the website. Hang on. Let me go to it.
Okay.
Where's the stuff?
See, we do this in the most professional manner possible, don't we?
Yeah, actually,
loading.
In a disguise, yes, it is the Cuban Monster Crisis. That is exactly what it is.
Okay. All right. I'll just can you link me it again? Because the link died that you gave me of it. I only have the website.
Oh, you only have the website. Okay. Give me a second. I'll post that up then. Give me just a second here. I'm going to send it right to your Twitter. Okay.
Wait. Thank you so much.
Have that. And I'm learning some new skills here. As I was just saying earlier before we started the cast here, I've just started using dual monitor, so I'm getting used to using it there. There you go. It is in your direct messages, Nerd.
Whee! Okay, I got it. Alrighty. We will get right into it. Share screen. Share the
I
screen.
didn't realize that Nerd provided musical accompaniment.
Oh, that's why she's here.
Oh,
Okay, we don't need that. Okay, do you see it?
Yep, we do see it. So here we have. It's always going to be a little bit of delay on the, of course, on the YouTube people's screen there watching, but we have the Casefile Arkham Indiegogo page up there. And
there
you know,
it is.
he said he was really, really impressed by the trailer on there. Should we play the trailer? What do you think?
I said I was very proud of the trailer. Sure, if it'll run, yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go play that trailer.
All right, let's see if it works for everybody.
Okay, here we go.
I didn't think about if the audio will work or not.
Oh, wait, hang on.
It was a night when you didn't know your friends. And strangers looked familiar. A night like this, the smartest thing to do is nothing. Stay home.
Let's play 20 questions.
I need them watch their own death.
I only wanted murder, vampirism, cannibalism, drug addiction, sadism, mutilation. And if it had ended, we would not be here.
A little choppy through there, but it got the point across.
Dang, that was really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I probably spent altogether too much time on it, but I like video editing.
No, it looked really good. It's
Thanks.
really enticing. Let's go see what we got here. You should already know this. You know I hang out with Kat all the time.
See, Kat didn't tell me about your singing skills. She just said you were a good artist.
Oh yes, I am just one of the best musician singers of all time. Yes, I should be on The Voice, of course. My brilliant music notes.
Actually, it'd be great if you did go on The Voice.
I
So,
realized here, I thought I was getting talked over. I realized I had my mic muted.
So here's the campaign.
I muted myself.
Um,
No, all was good. So a lot of people were asking, who made the video, and you did, right?
Yeah, I
So-
made the video.
And what software did you use, if you don't mind, since people seem to really be impressed by it?
I used Premiere primarily to do it. I edited the images in Photoshop, created some animated backgrounds, and then anyway, basically I used Adobe products, Premiere, and also did some sound editing in Audition.
Excellent. Well, that's really cool. I've already watched it ahead of time. So if I did my homework this time,
Oh,
who would have thought? I actually did my homework. It's Nerd. Would you mind going up to the top of the page? So let's talk about this. Let's see what you get in this. And before we dig too much in there, let's let them look at the page. Inspiration. What made you think to write this story here?
well, actually, it was right after Casefile, or sorry, it was right after World War Kaiju, which had its audience, but again, it didn't really catch as well as we had expected. And Patrick and I were both at the time known for doing horror and Lovecraft work, which is kind of weird because I've primarily written sci-fi most of my life. But I had just written a short story that had appeared in an anthology called Whispers from the Abyss. And then Patrick had been long known for doing all the Chaosium games. He did a lot of the artwork for the card games and the books. If you've played any of the RPGs, you've seen Patrick's work. And so a lot of our hardcore fans kept coming to us and saying, well, when are you going to do Lovecraft? And we're like, well, we could. And we started actually to do a straight interpretation of Pickman's model. And about maybe a week into it, we're like, we're really not feeling this. It's just, another visual representation of a Lovecraft story. And he and I started talking about our love for classic film noir and how we also loved a very unrepresented genre, which is occult noir. And primarily we were talking about films like Lord of Illusion and Angel Heart, and I guess Constantine to a degree as well. And that there just weren't enough of those kinds of movies, and not much in the way of comics either. That did it well. I mean, there were plenty of wizard detectives like Harry Dresden. There's no shortage of kind of the urban fantasy detective where the guy is magical, and but an actual straight noir that just happens to be in a supernatural world, not so much. And again, Angel Heart and Lord of Illusion really nailed it. And we're like, well, what if we did that to Lovecraft? What if we took a Lovecraft story and shoved a classic Raymond Chandler-esque detective into that world? What would happen? And he and I talked about it, and I came back to him in a week with a full story concept with characters and a world. And that's kind of the initial spark. I'm a kind of a research nut. And so when I do anything, I research the ever-living hell out of it. And so I researched the study of both the novels, the pulp noir novels of the 20s and 30s, and then the films of the 40s and 50s. And I came to find out that pulp noir was born exactly at the same time that Lovecraft was writing, and that they were inspired and influenced by the same social pressures and cultural events of the day and the attitudes of the culture. So they both kind of came from the same place. And it was just bizarre because as I started to write it, it just all fit. It blended together perfectly.
Awesome. And so I've read the first one, but I haven't read the second one yet. So you since then put out, now you have two of them in the series out.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And they're both available right on here at Indiegogo.
And yeah, they are being sold at a regular graphic novel price. I know that a lot of these Comicsgate titles are pretty expensive. These 60-page graphic novels for $25. The way we're doing it, you can get the first one for $15.
Why don't we go over the tiers? That way, I just don't want to interrupt you, but I mean, why don't we go through each one of the tiers so they know what they get on those tiers, so you can share what's available on those. That okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to scroll down?
Sure, please. That's why we have the nerd here. She's taking care of it, so I don't screw it up.
Yeah. Okay, I should probably put in my mouse though, because I like getting a little bit choppy here.
Yeah. We'll look at the art and everything else there too, so people could see it. I will say that when I read the first one, I really liked the dark, gritty art of it. I'm a horror fan. Some people don't realize that about me. I thought they did. I've done a lot of videos talking about. I do a lot of horror video games and things like that. So you'd think that I'm a horror fan.
Oh, I'd love to come on then, and you and I could just chat horror sometime. Maybe talk about John Carpenter films or something.
That would be cool. Good thing I said horror. Sometimes I don't pronounce that well. I don't want people to think I'm a good horror fan.
Warren JB says that Chandler-esque detective. Could you be more busted? Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Amy Langton said, could you be more nerfed? DC Comics said, what's Comicsgate? Never heard of it. Oh dear. Okay, let's look at these tiers then. Let's show some people what's available, and then we'll look through the art and everything that's available in these, so they know what you have out there. As I said, I really like the art in the first book. I haven't touched the second book, so that's all new to me. So I can't.
The second book's even better.
Oh,
Patrick
awesome.
really has the style down. He was kind of experimenting and still kind of getting used to it. He was primarily a color artist, so going straight black and white, it had a steep learning curve, but I think he nailed it. But that second book is gorgeous.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Excellent.
So yeah, as you can see, Volume 1, you can get it in print, $15, 128 pages, just like a regular graphic novel at the store.
Excellent. So 128 pages for $15. That's black and white. That's not bad at all. Not at all. I enjoyed it. Hey, Nerd, can you make sure everyone can see the tiers? Let's see. Can you go to the first tier?
Sure. I'll go all the way back up. Okay.
Yeah, sorry
I
about
agree,
that.
Amy Langston. I love black and white. Black and white art is gorgeous, and I think there's kind of a fear of black and white in comics for some reason, which is kind of dumb.
I think black and white really works well for this type of style.
Actually, I insisted on it because it's noir. I mean, we wanted this to look like a 40s film. So it definitely has little tones of Sin City, I'll admit. But
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If it works, it works. All right, so we have the first one that says, get them both. 280 pages of bullets, babes, and beasts. I almost said breasts. Which
those are there too. There's
yes,
some pretty big ones. But
the women are drawn like women in this.
Oops.
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't seen them in years.
Well, there was a witch in the story who has a dark past where she had been brought up in a fertility cult and blessed by the goddess. So, naturally she's
Okay, awesome. So that's where Carol Danvers went.
Oh man.
I like you.
See, that's why she's here. She's here to make me look good.
I'm really good at making people look good. All right, so this is our featured tier. This is your featured tier. It's you get both of them for $45. Those are really nice. Yeah, you get both.
Yeah, and
your
the
pleasure.
nice thing is you don't just get the 2 books for $45. You get an exclusive print that has never been released before of the lovely Glinda. And we have it way down at the bottom. You can see it. And you get a sticker. It's a lodge sticker. It looks like a Freemasonry sticker, but it's actually a lodge sticker for the Esoteric Order of Dagon. And it's a 4-inch sticker. And I think there's a few other items, but those are the 2 main extras that you get with it.
Awesome. So you get more than just the books, everybody. You see that you get these other additional perks there as well. Very, very cool.
Okay, and of course we got the main one is $1. $1. Yeah, it's being nice. Give about that.
Moral support.
Yeah, it's all good. All good.
That's just a give, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, absolutely. And here we go. We got for $7 the ebook case file volume 1 comes with a PDF, Nightmare on the Canvas, and a wallpaper and avatar pack. Very nice. Very nice.
And you want to scroll down?
Oh, okay. Is another $7 tier, but this one is for volume 2.
Yes.
Once
So
again,
you get each one separately if you want to.
Yeah.
So if you're like me and you already have the first one, you just want the second one, here you go.
yeah.
And we also have a tier for people who already have the books and just want all the extra free swag, or not for all the extra swag, all the prints and
Free
pins and art.
Are you alive, nerd? You made some kind of weird noise.
Oh, I was like, free stuff. Actually, it's not free. Well, that's good that there's just to get your swag. If you don't want to buy the book, you already got the book. We
That's
got
right.
the for 14.
Well, okay, actually, honestly, I'm going to be up front. I'll tell you, it all depends on certain sticker orders if they come in. There might actually be a little free stuff in every package.
Guys, that's
Free is my favorite price.
But it just depends if the stickers arrive on time.
all right. Let's see here. The next up is the complete case files in PDF form. So only digital, but you get the Nightmare on the Canvas, wallpaper avatar pack, Blood Runs Cold, and the other avatar pack. So you get volume 1 and 2 and both avatar packs, but they're only digital.
I like digital because I can read them at night on my tablet. So I actually like both. I like having physical copies, but I'm really starting to read more digital than I ever used to because I don't have to have all the lights on. I can just chill out and read while like cuddling the kids to sleep.
Well, if you buy the physical book, you get the digital pack as well.
You beat me to it. I was going to plug that. that was my segue. That's all. That's why I said I like the paper as well. But yes,
Well, the thing
absolutely.
is,
So if you're like me, you like both, you can get both that way.
the thing is that black and white looks better in print. And there's some science behind it, but at the end of the day, it just looks better on paper, whereas color looks better on the screen.
Yeah, I do agree. The darkers look much more dark in print. It's just, I don't know. It just has an eerier look too. I don't know what it is.
What it is, and this is actually why I prefer print, is that the screen is shooting light into your eyes. And so that's why color looks so great on it. But on the other hand, on the paper, what it is light bouncing off the paper and reflecting into your eyes. And it's physics, basically.
Awesome. So here we've given you guys a lesson. We're educating here now, too.
So if you want, you can get for $15 right here. It is the print edition of Volume 1. It comes complete with
just the digital stuff.
Just the print. Just print. It's still good, but it's just the print. Or you can go for $15.
Whoa!
What?
Came out really loud and fuzzy all of a sudden.
You sounded actually like Trent Reznor there for a second.
Okay. Or you can get the Volume 2 edition, same price, just $15, and you get the physical.
And this is a limited misprint. There's nothing wrong with the book. That's just one of the pages. The title page is on the wrong spot, and so we felt it was necessary to indicate that it's a misprint. It's different in some way.
Trolling with Scissors said, "Friend humans, buy the physical copy. It gives feels."
All right, and the print.
Never have to worry about the battery running out with the physical.
That's right.
Then we have this edition of the legit non-misprint edition. Once again, this one's $20, but you get a physical. That's about it,
Volume 2 is significant. Is a little longer than Volume 1, as you can see.
152 pages.
Yeah.
Or
that's the slightly higher price.
Or you can go.
Is that the tier that comes with a picture of Nerd Wonder's breasts?
I've never seen Nerd Wonders. I have no idea.
I thought she was the model for the cover on the Arkham book. No,
I thought that was his wife.
Shame on us.
No comment. Actually, the woman on the cover. No, actually, the woman on book 2 is loosely based on actress Ella Raines, who was in the film The Phantom Lady, which was the inspiration for the Watchmen character. Anyway,
very awesome.
Then we got, if you want both of them, you can get both of them, but for $35. It only comes with the print editions, but you get both.
Eric Breen wants to know if there'll be an audio edition where you read them in your cute voice.
Oh, wow, that would be cool. I guess Edwin Boyette could play all the cool man voices. Yes.
I asked him to. I think he got overwhelmed. He was for a while going to do a ad for me in the voice, his baritone voice.
Yeah, he's got going. Yeah, he got really chomped down with hundreds and hundreds of things happening. So I think he took a vacation.
he needed a break for a little bit.
Man, I like.
The tricks is you've got to talk really close to the microphone and see it makes you sound much more deep.
Really? I don't know about that.
Well, you have to have balls
this
too.
This is a rarity here. You actually get to see what happens when an attractive woman becomes a ghoul. That's what you're looking at there. That's a ghoul honey.
A ghoul honey.
That was actually what they were called in the script.
Awesome. So now you just got another little piece of information. By the way, Switchpoint said, "What's up?" Chris said, "An audiobook with smooth jazz boyette and anime girl Nerd Wonder. Sign me up."
James Hayes, it is not porn. There is nudity, and in book 2, well, actually in both books, there is implied sex. Well, book two shows it, but in all cases, it is incredibly classily done. It is done in the same tradition of the old 1940s films, definitely a little more graphic, but it's primarily shadows. No, it's not porn.
Sweet. This is good stuff. Oh,
And
wait,
there is also some parts where there's nudity, but it's highly uncomfortable and not erotic at all.
Dun dun dun.
Like ghoul honeys.
all right, we're going up to the next one. This is the featured one that we spoke about before. Once again, you get both physicals. For $45, you get both.
Well, that the one above, there's the 35 version where it is just the books and absolutely nothing else.
Yeah.
And then the 45 one, you get all the cool stuff.
Yeah. So if you want all the extra goodies, you go for the 45, and then you get all that stuff we spoke about before.
And then there's a bunch of others where it's like overseas and UK and
then just extra, if you want, you get the posters and print sets for $60, which is just all the cool little extra trinkets.
yeah, okay. The poster and print set, you get the Glinda print there, and you get a poster of the cover and some other things.
Now you have the picture of the lady holding the skull. Did you have a model for that?
I don't know if Patrick used a model for it, but that's Glinda, the detective's girlfriend, and that's done in kind of a Felix Vargas style, which was popular at the time.
It's very old school, classy.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
That was kind of the aim. Is that it is very old school and classy, and I wanted the whole book to have that vibe.
Eric Breen said James was talking about the stream. Captain Frugal gets out of control sometimes. What are you saying?
Let's see.
He thinks I get off.
Okay, there we go. That's the woman there. That is Asnith. Anyone who is a Lovecraft fan knows should know who Asnith Waite is. But again, that's patterned after the actress Ella Raines, who was in a couple of noir films and actually, frankly, way underrated. Very, very beautiful woman, extremely skilled actress, and also, ironically, a pilot.
Really?
Yeah.
She's done stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff. Oh, I really like these.
There we go.
You got
$65 tiers.
Sorry, that's all we have for
Lauren
today.
JB said, "Blimey, that art's good."
Okay, there. That's the Ladies of Arkham print set, and frankly, that is my favorite. I love this set.
They're pretty.
I wish more people would get this one. I guess that. Well, hold on there. You get 5 prints. They're all 11 inches tall, and they're Art Nouveau representations of all the various dames of Arkham. Asnith Waite, Glinda, the High Priestess of the Witch Coven of Chesson Cook, May Derleth, who's a rich heiress, and then also not pictured in here is you get a sexy pinup of the dark goddess Shugnibaroth. So that one of them is actually a horrifying Lovecraft monster.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is awesome. Man, these are really good. I can't get over it. Oh, sweet.
She's nerding out.
There's a drawing one. I like this.
Yeah, they kind of look like tarot cards. I had designed the backgrounds for Patrick, but ultimately, no, they're just Art Nouveau style. But I would love to eventually do a artistic tarot of the world. There are plenty of characters that would fit the symbols.
I'm so into this one. They managed to get the money. Heck yeah.
Amy Langston wants Haster to show up. Maybe Amy Langston wants a pinup of Haster.
Oh,
in the next one. I don't know. That could be done.
Now wait a minute. You said the next one. Is there going to be a third?
Yeah, a third one is definitely in the works.
Awesome.
I would like to keep doing this as long as there's an audience for it. This world, the way I write is that, and this kind of blew my artist away when he found out about it. In book one, I had a lot planned for the other books already in my head, because the way I write is, even if the reader never finds out about things, I need to know what each character's arc and background and future is to inform how they behave. And so there's a whole lore already there to be explored. And it's strictly as long as the audience wants to read more, I will give them more.
Well, I will say, after reading the first book, the way you left it, it definitely made me want to read more. Because, I mean, the first one was more of a traditional detective story, and then towards the end, it all went to crap. It all went crazy. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah, the second one is, again, a traditional detective story, but in a very different way. It takes the notion of a lot of noir stories, your hero just, life decides to conspire to make his life hell. And in this one, what turns out to be a friendly visit goes really awry, and it just goes from there. And again, near the end, it all goes to hell. Gods and goddesses and sea monsters.
Samurai Raccoon said, wow, so I'm not the only one who thinks that way when creating a world and its characters. So you got somebody else in the same vein there with you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to want to check out his Samurai Raccoon book. If that's how he writes, I'm interested.
There we go. Matter of fact, Samurai Raccoon, I believe, says he's already got a publisher. Let's see. Let me double check it.
Yeah, I think he's got a publisher already.
Yeah. I have to go back through and find it, but I'm a little slow there. Nope, that's not the right one. Okay, it's in there somewhere. So feel free to pimp it, Samurai Raccoon, if you want it in the comments section there. All right.
But yeah, the third book actually is going to, what it is each book tries to be a standalone story, beginning, middle, and end, that you can read on its own. But there is a lore and a mythology that's being built up in each one. And the second book really, you get to find out a lot more about Flynn's girlfriend, Glinda. And it sets up the next book where you find out about her dark past. And, events come to roost. Can you hear the kids yelling
Samurai
outside?
Raccoon.
Just a little bit.
That's not...
Okay, let me shut the window.
They're fine. They're just kids. They're having fun.
Yeah. I've already beat mine into quietness. So just kidding. They're just been put to bed at 8:30. That's all. Samurai Raccoon said Workhorse Comics is his publisher, just so you know.
I thought it had something to do with horsies. I didn't say horsies, I swear.
Actually, there's a hilarious story about those kids out there. They're just the neighborhood kids. They like to play superheroes, and I'll hear them yelling at each other as they play, because it's right outside my window. And one day I'm sitting at the keyboard working, and they're playing Avengers, as they usually do. But I started hearing how they were playing Avengers, and they start yelling back and forth, "Oh no! Look! It's Loki! We've got to do something! Hawkeye, use your Pikachu!" It was each Avenger had their own Pokemon with them.
Okay, to be honest, that is the best idea ever. I mean, honestly, that's how they could have defeated Thanos if they just had an Abra. Abra uses teleport.
My little girl, which goes by the name American Dream on streams, her favorite hero is Thor. She has a big thing for Thor, and it's not a physical crush. She just loves the character. She's 3. Absolutely loves Thor.
Loud and awesome and adventurous.
You'd kind of imagine that Thor would have had the Pikachu, right? not Hawkeye. This was what I thought.
Well, now I want to know what everybody's got for their Pokemons. Gotta catch them all, dude.
I have no Pokemon knowledge. I'd have to go to Little Frugal on that one.
But you'd enjoy that.
He would have to school me. The actual Thor, yes. Not Samurai Raccoon asked, yes, the actual male original Thor, not female Thor. She loves the real Thor.
Okay,
I'll be putting up some videos with her soon.
Yay!
And
So
I didn't mean.
there's the $75 tier.
Mhm.
Now Patrick isn't on hand. He's got another job right now, so unfortunately he can't do commissions this time. But I do artwork. I mean, I'm no Patrick McAvoy, but I do artwork. And for $75, I will. You get all the other extra stuff and a drawing from me.
I like that.
And is that your picture there as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, because it has your signature on it. I'll draw something really weird in your book. Very cool. All right, nerd, are we moving on down?
Yes. Do, do, do.
I have to have nerd jokes.
Snap.
All right, here we go. We're getting to the big stuff now. We're hitting the major swag.
Ooh, I like this. What? The shot glasses. They're shot glasses.
Yes.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
the ultimate swag pack. Let me explain that one.
Yeah, tell me.
That's for people who already own the books. The books are not included with that one. That literally is everything else from the campaign. Bookmarks, stickers, pins, the Ladies of Arkham, the print, a matchbook and cocktail napkin, shot glasses. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in it. Window sticker.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody was to get all these, it says estimated delivery November 2018. They're going to get all this before Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything seen in the campaign is already manufactured, already exists. Like I said, there might be some extra free stuff we toss in if it arrives, but that's just negligible. That has nothing to do with what's being offered.
So this makes a great Christmas gift for the horror fan.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I like giving gifts of comic books and things to try to get other people to nerd out. I've gotten several members of my family now involved in this. Just recently, I got my sister-in-law and my niece are both into superhero nerdiness now. So it's like, haha, it's growing.
Yeah. It's like when my brother just came by one minute and he was starting to talk to me about anime. It's amazing.
See,
Weirded me out, but it was amazing.
we will grow this nerd culture.
Nerd Wonder, can you tell me about hentai?
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
I have not, so I'd have to say sorry. I don't know, but I have a hunch with where that's going to. You guys are terrible.
We are terrible.
As Chris said, Chad Wonder confirmed weeb and otaku.
Otaku.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did. It's his girlfriend. His girlfriend got really into anime, so he knew I had a Funimation account, so I let him have it. And then and one day I got a phone call, and he goes, "Hey, do you ever watch a show called My Hero Academia?" No, wait, I suggested him to watch it. He goes, "Are you busy?" And I'm like, "No." "Great. I need to talk to you about Deku for 5 minutes." Like, oh my gosh. And he just went, and it was like, damn. You got really into it.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, he also has a comic book collection. He used to geek out with me about Black Panther. He was all like, "Black Panther's really cool." I'm like, who's Black Panther? He's like, "Picture Batman, except he's also a king."
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to say it.
It is
I
pretty
agree
good.
with that.
Yeah.
There we go. There. So let's see here. That was the ultimate.
Kurt Eichenwald.
I'm losing my spot.
Kurt Eichenwald.
It's seen through hentai. Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
The stream.
This is gonna go real bad now, isn't it?
It's all right. That's why this is the late night program.
Okay, my book has tentacles, but there's none of that stuff. None. Zero.
We got more stuff.
Now, so that's the ultimate swag pack. You get all kinds of goodies, so you can use your shot glasses and get drunk while reading the book.
And just a note about the shot glasses. They are both shot glasses. The logos are from actual locations in the books.
Oh, get out!
Really?
Yeah, the dive is the dive is the authentic Innsmouth pub. Anybody who knows about Lovecraftian lore knows why that is important. And that shows up in the first book, and in the second book is the high-end nightclub called the Carcosa, which no is not a True Detective reference. Actually, it's a Lovecraft reference and more.
Very cool. Nice. And there's even more packages. Now you have a retailer pack. I don't think that really impacts some of us, but if there's anybody retailers out there, you want to spread it to let your local retailer know so they can get the retailer pack, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, actually I was a little bummed about that as I kept getting retailers saying, yeah, you need to have a retail offer. So I did.
So we need to tell them, hey, it's out there. Maybe they didn't know that. Maybe we gotta make sure you go to your retailer and say, hey, there's a retailer pack for this. You got to get some of this for your store.
Heck yeah.
Now there's also the $100 tier, the Josh Finney library pack. So tell us a little bit about this library pack here.
Okay, the library pack, you get you get the 2 Casefile Arkham books. You get a bunch of the extra perks as well. But also included is a copy of World War Kaiju and Utopiates, which are 2 prior books of mine. One is sci-fi. That's Utopiates. I kind of describe it as Blade Runner meets Train Spotting. It's set in a future where there's an underground drug culture where people inject personalities and just the trouble that brings. It's kind of character studies. It's one of the few books I actually illustrated myself. With my wife, Kat. And then there's World War Kaiju, which is the idea that in the 1940s, the Manhattan Project did not produce an atom bomb, but a kaiju monster, and that the 1950s Cold War was all about monsters, not missiles. And boy, does it go wrong.
Godzilla, come and save us.
Also included with it is some PDFs. Oh, and you also get a limited issue 1 printing, rare printing. There were only like a few hundred made, but it's an issue 1 rare printing of the very first Utopiates when it was single issues. So that's included with the pack. And then there's also digital files of 2 short stories I've written, and they're prose. I mean, so I believe one's almost 20,000 words and the other's 15,000.
Eric Breen was asking, so I just sent you the Indiegogo link, Eric. He said, what was the exact title again so I can tell my retailer what to order? Yeah, and that's the retailer pack.
Yeah.
That
and you want. Get, I believe, 5 copies of each book. And then you get a certain number of bookmarks and I believe promotional items to give out to readers to get them interested.
Mm-hmm. And that's the Casefile Arkham books 1 and 2. Can't keep track of all this stuff. Yeah, that's 1 and 2, and it's even signed. It says, I believe.
Everything's going to be signed.
Awesome.
All books in this campaign will be signed.
Everything will be signed. So an added bonus that you wouldn't just necessarily get that otherwise. So that is amazing. I'm a sucker for signed stuff. I'll admit that.
Well, it kind of bummed me out is that with we're not going to go down this path long, but with the whole social justice insanity that's taken over the comic industry, here on the West Coast, there aren't any conventions I can attend anymore. They've become hostile environments, and especially what used to be our best conventions, Emerald City, Rose City, the one in San Francisco, they've all become so hostile. I can't do conventions anymore, which means that I can't sign books. I can't do a lot of the stuff that I could have done at a convention. So in a way, Indiegogo has allowed that door to be opened again.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you mean by it's become hostile to you? Are they actually being physically hostile to you, harassing? What's going on here?
One, it's very clear that they don't want people like me there. Second, for instance, the real offender of all of this used to be our best show is Emerald City in Seattle. And when they started doing the, no gender bathrooms, and they had their every other thing had to do with identity politics, and you had the gay section, and it just got really, really. It was no longer fun. It was like everyone was on edge. Everyone was waiting to be offended. They started having conferences where it was like no white men allowed.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
And it's like, I'm not going to pay in excess of $1,000 to get a booth set up in a hotel and all that other stuff just to go in and sit in a room.
Told that you're a disgusting cis man,
and afraid to say anything that you might open your mouth might be used against you in a horrible way. Wow.
And the thing is just to show how utterly racist these people are, as I had pointed out, hey, I'm mixed race. Oh, you don't look it. So I guess it doesn't really matter then, does it?
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't, because you're a man. They hate everything. I swear.
But
they made it local news, like everywhere. It wasn't only nerdy news, because my dad found out about it. He was like, does this happen over here? I'm like, no, Dad, it doesn't.
Another one was at
to those convention things you go to. No, Dad, that one's in California. Yeah. California's weird, honey.
When Antifa started showing up too, it was I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
they're violent.
Yes,
beat up an old man.
But anyway, the mixed gender bathrooms, when they had them at the Emerald City Convention, my God, you couldn't take a piss. You'd go in there, and I was not going to take a piss in front of a bunch of 10-year-old girls.
No.
No, your parents might be okay with that, but I'm not,
No. You could see the accusations just flying because of that.
Also, why didn't they? Okay, this is what I always thought about gender bathrooms. When somebody brought up, it's like, if they're going to do that, why don't they make them all in stalls so nobody needs to worry about this and make them super long? Instead of, a urinal right in front of everybody. I mean, that's just asking for a bunch of kids to be throwing that stuff around.
Yeah. It seems like a very uncomfortable situation. I can see why you would feel unwanted.
I'm nervous to pee in front of kids and stuff. It's like, this is weird. So yeah, like, just make giant stalls, I guess. Like, make them longer and put a urinal in every one of them. The end.
The other thing that was really ridiculous was noticing, and I don't know if this is on the East Coast, but on the West Coast, you'd go to conventions and there'd be signs on the table that my book has a trans character and gay-friendly comics and woman-friendly comics.
Wait. Comics were never friendly towards women? Damn it. I'm just way out of the loop. Guess I shouldn't have been reading these things.
See, I never understand that. I read a comic for a good story, good art. I don't care what gender the hero is or color or anything. If they're a good character, I'm like DC's Jessica Cruz. I really like that character a lot. She's probably moved up to maybe my second favorite Green Lantern now, and I'm a huge Hal Jordan fan. It just that stuff doesn't matter to me. I care about the character themselves, what they go through, and a good story. But I almost seem like I feel like I'm a minority that way now in these people's minds.
Yeah.
That's the congratulations. You're now minority status. You've been oppressed.
Well,
I'm going to help say that.
After we talk about the campaign, maybe I'll discuss a little my next project before we do the next Arkham book. The plan is to do the next Arkham book late next year, but in the meantime, I've got a project that is addressing exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, interesting. I will say, Eric Breen said, were there any tables that said actual good stories comics?
No. Stories are no longer important, apparently. It's making sure that your book has representation.
Here's the other thing about that, which always weirds me out. They're always, like, most of the comics I see always do now have a gay character. So when your advertising has a trans or gay character, it's like, well, what does that make that different than anybody else? All comics are very inclusive and stuff, and we've had a ton of gay characters. I don't know what you're talking about here.
The thing is I've done 3 books now that have had gay characters in them, and nobody has ever noticed because I don't make an issue of it.
Yeah. Almost as if you treat them like normal people.
Right.
That'd be right, because gay people, apparently, according to comic books and the current writers, they aren't people. They're some sort of crazy pod monsters from the 90s.
Oh God.
Oh, so back on topic. See, I can do that once in a while. See, we were talking about the $100 tier. Was it the Josh Finney library pack, or did I lose my? Okay,
You get a ton of stuff with that one. So
absolutely. Look at wallpaper, avatar pack, bookmarks, the Glinda pop pin-up. Sorry, can't speak. World War Kaiju,
Utopiates.
Thank you.
And then the ultra rare issue 1 of Utopiates as well. And then some digital stories.
And then the next pack, you have the Night on the Town.
This is for the drinkers.
With your copies of Casefile Arkham 1 and 2 print editions, you'll get shot glasses.
Ironically, I only use them for espresso shots, but
from both the Corrosive Club, I cannot speak today, and the Dive Insamouth Pub. Corrosive Cocktail, Napkin, and Matchbook. A ticket stub to a Pickman's Gallery showing, bookmark, Glinda pinup, and Order of Dragon Lodge sticker.
And the nice thing is again, most of those items, with the exclusion of being the Glinda pinup, is they're all artifacts from the world of Casefile Arkham. I really like doing that with all of my campaigns, is making as many items as possible actual little artifacts that would exist in this world.
That's a really cool thing. What a way to immerse yourself in the book as you're sitting there drinking from a shot glass from the dive bar or whatever, the pub that's in there. That's really cool concept. I like that. I might have to start drinking something just to test out the shot glass. I guess like a shot tea.
Use it for espresso shots.
Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee, but that would take like a zillion of those for me with as much coffee as I drink.
I love this community.
Oh, so you and I are on the same page here.
Yeah, lots of coffee.
I love this community specifically because, one, I will never be without reading material, and two, we come up with some very interesting swag. Like, look at these shot glasses. Oh, it's got like a little fish dude on there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm guessing Nerd Wonder is not too versed in Lovecraftian mythos. Was that fair?
No, not enough. No, my friends have always been into it, so I got to learn.
Innsmouth is this town that's cursed, and the population is inbred with fish people.
Really?
Yeah, and so the idea is that it's an authentic Innsmouth pub, and there's a classy little fish man there with the top hat and a monocle.
Oh, I get it.
They have their own version of the Freemasons called the Order of Dagon, which worships this old Sumerian god. And so you get the lodge sticker.
Mariana mentions the shot glasses could be used for juice shots or NyQuil if you're sick. So there you go. Other great uses. Absolutely.
Wise.
Pepto-Bismol.
She is a very wise artist. She is.
She is.
There's also $100 Josh Finney library pack.
There it is. The Josh Finney library pack. Woo!
Slowly transitioning over to Ishiro Finney for various reasons. The most notable being is that if I had known this when I started my career, Josh Finney is way too close to the name Jack Finney, and Jack Finney wrote The Body Snatchers. So if you go to buy a book or you punch it into Google, there's a very good chance you won't get me. You'll get him first. Or people will remember his name and not mine. So I said, you know what? It's time to start using the middle name.
Ah.
Smart move.
You get to separate yourself. Good move. Yes, absolutely.
Though you could have also used it to be all like, well, yes, I did write The Body Snatchers. Oh, you probably get sued for that, but still.
Oh yeah, there's the lodge sticker. We're finally seeing the graphic of it.
Now the last tier you have in here, the script review. This really piqued my interest here. It says one-on-one graphic novel script review with writer Josh Finney. Josh Finney will review your proposal for a graphic novel and set I can't speak with you now, and set with you in a Google Hangout session to help polish your story ideas.
Well,
That's cool.
there seems to be kind of a burgeoning writing community among Comicsgate, and I'm noticing more and more people asking me for advice and stuff. Apparently, I'm one of the more experienced writers in the community. Apparently, there aren't a lot of us.
According to Gail Simone, we're non-existent.
Yeah, we're a
Yeah,
bunch of
exactly.
idiots.
And
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Also,
2007, I did stuff at DC. I was with Archaea that became Boom. And so I'm getting more and more people asking for advice. And I was like, well, this is really time consuming. I try to divide as much time as I can to help people. But here you go. If you really want me to sit down, go through your script page by page, make notes, and then sit down with you in a live chat and we can go over it together and I can give advice, here's your chance.
And the reason that really perked my interest is because I recently started writing my own comic book, and I have a script writer working on it. I really feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
I am not a comic book writer. This is my first foray into that. I have no clue how to write this thing. So he's pretty much said, just send me your crap and I'll get your crap together. He pretty much used the word crap. So he's like, yeah, I got to do a lot of fixing on this, buddy. So I can see real, well, as I said, I'm a very textbook, boring kind of technical writer. Where I got the ideas and stuff, I just don't know how to do the setups and the proper format and things to make it easy for an artist to go through and do that. So he's doing that for me because he also does artwork too. So he has both ends. So he's helped teaching me that craft. So I can see where somebody wants to jump into this. That's like me, says, I've never done this before. I've been into this for years and years, but I've just never done it. And I need somebody to really show me how it's done.
See, yeah, that was another thing I used to do at conventions. And again, it bums me that I can't do this. Is I would give panels where I would show, the process from script to page and kind of give an intro of how to start thinking in that way and how to kind of teach yourself how to do it. Mm-hmm. And I would love to start doing that again.
I think that would be a good idea because honestly, it's not only in the West Coast, the East Coast, and everywhere I go, workshops are like completely gone. Most of the seminars are just like random talk to certain people, but nothing about anything. And then all the workshops are how to cosplay.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, I'm kind of done with these cosplayers. And no offense. A lot of my friends are cosplayers, but I'm like, you guys get like 500 cons?
Yeah.
Can I have just this one, please? Just to draw? Please?
No.
I think it's also important to take notice on this, that you are at 819% of your goal. You set a very low, flexible goal of 500. You still have 16 days left. Yeah. You're at 4,095.
Well, we set it very low because everything's printed already. The book is already made. This is primarily exists. This whole campaign primarily exists to allow, again, to replace the convention, really. These are all the things that we would have made available at conventions before. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I can't sign books anymore unless people order direct from me. And all this extra stuff, when are you going to get the chance to sell that or offer that to a fan? So in a sense, this was my way of being able to reach out to the Comicsgate audience and kind of open that door up again to make this available for a while.
Once again, I just put the link up to the Indiegogo in the chat section. I'm also going to put a link in the chat real quick again for your website. I also have all this information below in the info bar, unless I screwed that up, but I think it's all there.
Well, actually, there is one more thing I couldn't add, and that is that I have my own channel that I'm slowly trying to build, but I'm primarily focusing on writing. Mm-hmm. So that's, again, another way I can reach out to people and slowly share like tips and introductions and how-tos.
Oh,
as well as other fun stuff like reviews.
And what is your channel for the people here that are not familiar with it?
Here, I'm going to give you the link in the chat bar.
Okay. I'm going to take that link then from the chat here, and I'll make sure that that I put that in there for everybody to see as well.
But if you just search on YouTube for J. Ishiro Finney, you'll find me.
All right. So we can hunt them down. I'm going to put that in the comments section right now so people can have your YouTube channel as well. Then they can check you out there.
Actually, the fun thing about the YouTube channel is I use it to update what I'm up to, talk about writing and technique, and then also Kat will come on and do reviews.
Awesome.
And they're always reviews of books she doesn't like. So we have her savaging of what was it? Man-Eaters.
Oh
my gosh, that book!
That's so
oh
evil.
Oh my gosh, she read the book. I mean, I read the book. I was intrigued, but I was just sitting there after reading it, and I guess I'll have to make a video sometime questioning. I now highly suspect she is the daughter or grandchild of T. Chick. There is no way anybody would make that big a blatant propaganda unless they were by the bloodline of a Chick track.
I don't know. I think Chick tracks were better written than this.
All right. So you have a lot of good stuff here, and you said you have more projects coming up on the way. So definitely keep track of his YouTube, right? Because you can tell people there are on the websites that you have available as well.
Actually, I've already talked a bit about the current project I'm working on my channel. I'm calling it the smallest minority. And before anyone wonders, oh no, this better not be some social justice shit. No, actually, it's essentially a rough quote from Ayn Rand, which was the smallest minority on earth is the individual. You cannot claim to stand up for minorities without standing up for the rights of the individual. So the idea is the smallest minority is you. And it's set in a kind of a oppressive, very dystopian future where Demolition Man, everyone who's infantile and stupid. This is what if the SJWs won and got their own country?
Oh wow! So that's what is that movie that Mike Judge did?
Idiocracy.
Yeah, it's like Idiocracy then.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's a bit darker than that, but it does have some satire and humor to it. But it starts out as you've got this future where the social justice warriors have taken over. They have their own country called Tolerance. And it is anything but. And the only reason they can remain in power is they've got this army of superhumans. I'll get into that later if it's needed. But essentially, this one woman ends up being turned into a superhuman, and she comes out of the process looking very, very much in a Power Girl-esque style. And this woman is everything that undermines their ideology. She's beautiful, she's strong, she stands up for herself, she doesn't need them. And she realizes this is her one chance to make a difference. So this one individual takes on the mantle of a superhero and starts doing individual acts fighting back. And her defiance begins to spark a larger revolution just by inspiring people. And again, her existence undermines the entire propaganda and ideology of this screwed up government.
Awesome. Just there are a couple of the comments I wanted to read out real quick. Mariana said, making your spouse read Man-Eaters could be seen as spouse abuse. Do you realize this?
No.
Actually, it kind of was, because she went in blind knowing absolutely nothing about it.
You're so mean. Dude, get her to read Border Town next. I actually will say, I read it. It was quite therapeutic. I was
really?
in a very angry state, and then I read it, and I was just so amazed by it. My whole entire rage just washed away by, what the heck did I just read?
Yeah. So I've gotten a number of comments in the there's Vince Rush, the artist for Smallest Minority. He's in the chat. Vince is an amazing artist. I am so looking forward to people seeing his work. I think he's got quite a future ahead of him. He's very talented. I am looking forward to when I have samples to share. Other people in the chat keep bringing up Fahrenheit 451, Animal Farm 1984, as, look, those are stories already where the SJWs have taken over. To a degree, yes. But actually, I would say the closest comparison for what I'm doing would be A Clockwork Orange, the novel, not the movie. And if you've read the novel, you would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, my brother read that.
Yeah. And that is kind of the future that it's more along those lines.
So since the chat are having a little fun, does anybody in the chat have any questions that they would like to ask you? Now would be a good time to fire them out there. Get to throw you under the bus here to answer questions if they have them.
Well, no. See, Switchpoint, Herbert Camacho couldn't be the president in this setting because it's a matriarchy.
Mm.
Oh, come on, but Camacho is the best president of all time.
Probably.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Oh, yeah, it was great. Actually, it seemed a little influenced by a story that was written, I believe, in the 40s or 50s called The Marching Morons. And if anyone's ever read that, they know what I mean. But it's actually a bit more of a realistic take on idiocracy, but I'm sure Mike Judge had read it. In The Marching Morons, the entire world, the same thing, essentially, the low IQ people have taken over. But the difference is there's a smaller population of smart people that are essentially at the very bottom, constantly struggling to make sure society doesn't collapse due to these overwhelming dominance of idiots. And they come up with the solution to the problem, which is really dark, but funny.
That'd be like Mark Wade being president. And
yeah, actually.
Mark Wade being president would not be a pretty day. It's like Twitter, the world of Twitter. Just created.
Yellow Flash? Yes, that's exactly one of the things that comes up.
Switchpoint said, "Are you planning more issues for this story, and will it reach a graphic novel or omnibus status at some point?"
Do you mean Arkham or my Smallest Minority?
Yeah, because you're going to do more Arkham, you said already.
Yeah. Oh God, I am so in love with this setting.
On Vince Rush Art said he's got a split, so thanks for hopping in there and checking out.
You guys go check out Vince's website. I believe it's just called Vince Rush Art. Check out his site. He is quite the talent.
Awesome. Okay, Switchpoint said both. Yeah, he's curious about both.
I've got 2 story arcs in my head for Smallest Minority. How many volumes that would take, I don't know. I like stories that are complete. I prefer doing these campaigns where if you support my campaign, you get a whole story. You don't have to wait for the next part later. So I would ideally like The Smallest Minority to be 2 graphic novels, and if it sells super well, yeah, an omnibus. Same thing with Arkham. Right now, we're just building an audience. If there ever gets to the point where this book is selling at a volume that would justify an omnibus, sure, absolutely.
Sorry.
Was that in the cat or something in the background for you?
It was a baby.
Oh, okay. That's a weird sounding baby there.
Don't say that. My sister's gonna get mad. This is my niece. I'm watching her for a moment.
Yeah, ultimately, yes, I do make money off this, and I do it full time, which is I feel very fortunate being able to do. But ultimately, it's if fans want to read it, if readers want to read it, I'll keep doing it. Essentially, that's it. As long as you guys keep coming back, I will keep doing it.
So in other words, capitalism. You're going to do what people demand. It makes perfect sense to me. Don't make a bunch of crap that people don't want.
I mean, World War Kaiju, I loved writing that book. That was a lot of fun. But while it did moderately well, unfortunately, it never built the audience to justify another. Yeah. Now, that may change as like Comicsgate seems to be changing that. But then when Arkham came about, we knew we had something special.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me pull up. Is there anything else anyone wants to share or anything? Because I know we've kept you for around about an hour and 20 minutes now. Anything?
I don't. Well, switch. Menrania, Vulcan. Fuck, I don't care.
You're as bad as I am with names.
So what are you saying? A campaign written by either classic Green Hulk or current She-Hulk dialogue-wise? Are you talking about me? Just curious, seriously.
Yeah, can you clarify that?
Yeah. What's that about?
I don't think it's a slight. I mean, she's talking about it stylistically. Also, I wonder if she means like the '80s style, with breaking the the fourth wall or what. I'm not sure.
Stop eating my hand.
Well, anyway, no. As far as anything else to add, just two things. Support Casefile Arkham on Indiegogo. This is going to be the last chance to get a lot of these exclusive items. None of them are going to be made again, except the books, of course. We'll do more reprints. And then also, after you read the book, I listen very closely to what readership says. The second book was greatly influenced by readership asking about what aspects of the world they wanted to know more about. I had a story in mind already, but I had a lot of people coming to me saying, I want to know more about this character. I want to know more about this aspect of the world. So I explored it. Anyone who reads either of these books and you want to know more about something, or you have a comment, contact me. I like hearing this stuff.
Now that's amazing too. You actually want to hear what people have to say and things like that. That's really cool. I mean, a lot of people aren't like that.
Yeah, like Chuck Wendick.
Well, see, that's kind of odd because as a writer, feedback is paramount. If you don't talk to your audience, or if you don't have a sense of how your readers are reacting to your writing, very few people can improve without that sort of feedback or understanding of their interaction with the readership. I mean, reading or writing is kind of a two-step process in that sense that you create the work yourself, but in a sense, it isn't really real until someone else reads it, it enters their mind, and they process it, and then it becomes real. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like the cat in the box, And so in that regard, you kind of need to know what really is resonating, what's making your audience feel, what are they getting excited, what makes them want to turn the page. You want to know that. So yeah, people like Chuck Wendig are idiots.
Absolutely. And as I said before, in case you missed it, I read book one. I greatly enjoyed book one, and the way it was left off, it made me want to read book two. So I'm really, I haven't read book two, so I can't say anything about that. I don't plug things that I can't, and lie and say, hey, it's a great book. I haven't read it. I can't say anything, but I'm very interested in reading it. So I'm there with some other people are going to want to be ordering this thing.
I guess the only other warning I would make is I write for adults. Unless you've got a very mature 17, 18-year-old. Well, no, actually, I think most 17 and 18-year-olds could handle it, but you may not want to give it to them. But yeah, this is not for young readers. I mean, there's violence, there is sex in it. It's not graphic sex, but there is sex in it. There's language. This is for adults. It's just like, okay, if you think your kid can enjoy Hollywood Confidential, or LA Confidential, I'm sorry, if that film, or Lord of Illusion, or Angel Heart. If you feel your teen can handle it, they can handle this book, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I won't be reading this to Little Frugal.
This is for adults.
Exactly.
Well, just to tell you though, that sex and so forth, 17 and up can play an M for mature video games. So probably if they played God of War, they'll enjoy this.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, I like that comparison.
Yeah. And I beat those mini games in God of War just so.
Got all the hearts.
Yeah,
that's right.
I know that Boobs and Flesh-Eating Monsters does kind of say I write for adults, but at the same time, you could look at like Chaos Comics and it's Boobs and Flesh-Eating Monsters, but I don't know. That still feels like it was written by Beavis and Butthead.
Well, this is more tastefully done. It really is. There's much more story behind it, to be fair. So.
And I'm not saying I don't enjoy Lady Death, but it's not deep reading. Okay, well,
Chris, Nerd Wonder
I love hanging out with you guys. I would really like to do this again. And yeah, since you're a horror fan, if you ever want to do a show on either horror comics or films, or any of the noir books that are coming out in comics now, I'd love to sit in and do it. That'd be fun. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm going to be on somebody else's channel. I think it's on the 28th. I have to double check on the date on that. Just talking about that subject. So maybe I'll hit them up and see if they want to have you on too.
Oh, that'd be great.
And have you on that.
And we can have Nerd Wonder sing when I come back.
Sure, but
And it truly would be a horror video.
Myself, love horror games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I plan on doing some more video game chats too and things. It seems like a lot of us also enjoy gaming and things too. So I'm trying to add that element too.
Well,
into this channel,
what most people don't know about me is, again, I primarily started writing cyberpunk, and that through my teens and early 20s, that's pretty much was my world. I kind of fell into horror. I mean, noir was interesting. I read it and I realized I'd always liked it. I just didn't know that. And it was kind of the genre for me, but I am deeply versed in cyberpunk. So if you ever want to do Deus Ex,
you know what? I can't. I've never played it.
Oh, okay.
Darn it. You had Switchpoint saying I love cyberpunk, I love sci-fi, so he might be your man for that one.
Okay.
I'm going to come in. I mean, I'll be happy to sit in on it. I'll just be the ignorant guy going, "Oh, I'm learning something."
But yeah, it's been fun, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate you joining, and everybody in the chat, please, spread this around. If anybody's someone interested in this book, or you think they would be, send them the link to the video if you want, so they can hear them out, check it out too. Give them the links to the website. They should all be in the info bar with additional websites and things that he has available too. I'm not saying, hey, go out and buy this. I'm saying, give it a chance. Look at it. If you think it's for you, check it out.
There actually one other thing I would ask across the board. If you see anything from the Comicsgate crowd that looks like it's something of quality or you can get behind, even if you don't buy it, I would urge you to at least retweet it, because right now, all of us that are trying to build a new industry are getting blackballed in the press, and we don't have a media to support us. And if you guys do something as simple as write a review on Amazon or retweet a campaign, or you just say, I read this book and I enjoyed it, or I think this is a book you'll like. That'll bridge the gap where the press has completely shut us out. It does a lot for us. And I don't mean that just for my projects. I mean that for everyone.
I agree. Absolutely. It's one of the reasons I do this is you get blacklisted in the media. Nobody gives you any coverage and things. So it's up to people like us to spread the word for you, because they're not doing it.
Right.
So,
all right.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to my guest. Did you have anything else you wanted to say before I?
Nah.
How about you, Nerd Wonder? Anything you want to pimp or anything?
Go buy this book. Go buy both books. In fact, buy the drink set just because it looks super awesome, and we should go to cons with it. We should make our own con. I still scream this every day. We should just make our own con with blackjack and hookers, according to Ben.
I agree. Actually, I think it would be even easier before even trying to do a con. We should just try and start doing meetups.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
And, bring product with us. We'll worry about making cons later. Let's just do meetups.
Heck yeah. I like that.
Well, while we're talking about meetups and pimping, just so everyone knows, don't forget, I am my channel is 100% fan funded. I do not monetize this channel, so nobody has to pay to get their comment read in a super chat. I'm 100% fan funded by my Patreon account right now. So if you want to go there, you can join up to Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and you get entered into. I just do random picks once in a while and send people stuff, as well as once in a while I do videos just for the Patreon channel. And I do have it should be coming a little while. I'm in the process of working on t-shirts and things. Maybe coffee cups might be part of it too, sweatshirts, things like that, for Frugal Force swag, if you will. And that money is going to be used to help fund my comic book that I'm working on, because I'm going to start needing to pay an artist here pretty soon. So hopefully it won't be a complete turd. I'll let you guys judge it. So
all right, guys.
All right.
Good talking to you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. And till next time, keep it frugal.